Joining us this morning, former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer and Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who is in Walterboro, South Carolina for the trial. Thank you both for being here. Matt, I want to start with you because my biggest question this morning as the defense gets ready to present their case, will they put Alex Murdaugh on the stand? Early in the trial, it sounded as though they would not, but is that changing? What are you hearing?
So we're hearing on the ground, and of course, good morning to you, Marni, but we're hearing on the ground here in South Carolina that the team was considering putting him on the stand. That's being reported by some of the local affiliates, at least 3. But our sourcing is telling us that they haven't made a decision yet. And it might be, in fact, a game day decision. He is unlike any other client that you may have because he's a very popular, well-respected, and at one time high-powered attorney at that defense table. And at times he looks like he is just at another trial, not concerning himself. So it's a very bizarre case, and this one might, again, be a game day decision.
Jennifer, the evidence in this case is compelling. It's also been very gruesome. Testimony yesterday was talking about the gunshot wounds and the injuries to Paul and Maggie. Also, a forensic specialist took the stand and talked about DNA, unrelated male found under Maggie's fingernails. From an investigative standpoint, walk us through what that may mean. It was determined too little to create a DNA profile.
Well, yes. First, let me discuss your first point, and that was the evidence of the pathologist, which to me was a very important point that were made. This shooting took place within 3 feet for both individuals, and it was frontal. There were no defensive wounds. Just think, if it would have been a stranger, you might have put your hands out, you might have turned quickly. But to me, this showed some sort of familiarity with the person who committed these heinous crimes. Regarding the DNA, touch DNA, DNA under fingernails could have been picked up by her from various situations. And the reason it's not so relevant here is they were shot from 3 feet away. There was no struggle. There was not anything that showed hand-to-hand combat of any type or nature. And also the wounds were immediate and fatal. So it wasn't something like she would be scratching defensively after she was shot.
It was hard to listen to the testimony from the forensic pathologist yesterday, specifically about Paul's wound to the head. I saw how Alex Murdaugh reacted to hearing that in court. We all could watch him breaking down, getting emotional. Matt, how did the jury visibly react to hearing such gruesome and difficult testimony?
Difficult indeed, and this is another example of his emotions on display at that defense table, clearly visibly shaken. He rocks in his chair. They're taking note of that. He's wiping away tears. And also in the gallery, his family members behind him are doing much of the same thing. So I'm looking over at that jury, and they are just glued to this testimony. And it was so demonstrative how this pathologist was taken off of the witness stand 2 days in a row by the different sides of, prosecution and defense having to walk through their scenarios. And she pretty much stuck to her original assessment of his injuries.
So many people are watching Alex Murdaugh in the trial. The jury certainly is. We are, as the public, watching him, but not just watching him in court, but watching him after the murders. You heard Maggie's sister talk about his demeanor, that he was concerned about clearing Paul's name, and she said he didn't seem afraid about the killer that might be out there that would have done that. He was focused on other things. What do you make of that, Jennifer?
Well, I look at all of his testimony and all of what he has said. The 2 interviews after the situation occurred, his appearance and demeanor in the court, and of course now this recent testimony. And when you put it all together, to me, it doesn't come up as true. And the issue is there are so many lies that have been wielded, it's hard to make any sense of what's going on. And for me, I see a lot of crocodile tears.
Yeah. Matt, there have been sort of trials within trials. The judge has had to determine whether the financial evidence could be admitted in the case. Now he is having to determine whether the roadside shooting that happened months after Maggie and Paul were killed can be admitted. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.